down the cover tonight here. Let me get my other phone here so I can check scores. And as usual, let's get logged in here. We got a lot of ground to cover tonight. NCAA and Pro Ball. Not the best week, not the worst week. Eating a peanut butter and jelly. How you doing, Kale? Let me get this side chat on over here. As we get going, to those of you who will be on the live stream, thank you. And for the many of you who will watch on the after chat, appreciate you being here. Just getting a few things. If you've not hit the thumbs up button, please take a second to do so. It is appreciated. What's up, Four Scores? And as usual, let's start with something a little fun here to get the blood flowing. Ooh. Let's get something a little going here just to get the blood flowing. Everybody ready? When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers, face off, fight for a Baltimore score, defensemen, forwards, and goalie, we'll win without a doubt, for Baltimore and Maryland, every Clipper fan will shout, fight, fight, fight. When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers and score. Get ready, take it up a half step. Hey, Queen Sam. Half step. When you Baltimore Clippers, when you Clippers from Baltimore, fight you Baltimore Clippers and score. Oh man, that gets the blood flowing every single time. And welcome everybody to Vegas Rosie. I think this is episode 5 covering week 4 and week 4 of NCAA football and week 3 of the NFL. Let's get to the good stuff first, or the bad stuff, however you may see it. And welcome to everybody watching on the chat. Knows it'll be watching in the after chat. It was week 4 in college football, which is traditionally known as Trap Week. And did the Rosie girl get trapped? Did Vegas Rosie get trapped? Yes, I did. I got trapped in a few this week, and also in the NFL. Bet a total of 7 games, won 3, lost 4. But when you're making spread bets, even if you win 3 out of 7 bets, you're still making money. How in the hell can that be? Because for every one of the spread bets we're making, we're putting down X dollars, and if we win, we get 2X dollars, minus whatever the casino 10% the vigorous use. Whereas if we lose a bet, we only lose X on each one. So if, for example, we bet $25 on a bet and we have 7 bets, we've wagered a total of $175. If 3 of them win, that's $150 return, less the 4 that did not win of $25 a shot, $100, leaving us a gross net profit of $50 minus our juice for the casino, and we're still ahead on the week. Pretty remarkable, huh? The joys of being a spread better. Now, I see Julie Army Mom demand a win-loss statement from ASU. Some of you that saw my video this morning, I was so mad at Appalachian State for blowing that football game against James Madison University at home. And I'm sorry, y'all, grab your nuts. That was an embarrassment down there. Up 28-3 at halftime, and you lose the game, okay? And my ticket went up in smoke, and you know what? I'm tired of being backdoored. I'm tired of poor second half performance bringing down my tickets and making me lose money that I prepared, and am sending a letter, first class in the United States mail tomorrow to Appalachian State University. The Office of the Comptroller, Accounts Payable. Yeah, I'm going to ask for my money back. I've enclosed a copy of my sports betting ticket for proof that the bet was made and that we should be reimbursed for this travesty by Appalachian State University, App State University. To my knowledge, it's the first time in professional or college sports of any kind that somebody has ever attempted to bill the godforsaken losing university for malfeasance and malperformance on the courts and fields of action. What's going to happen? I don't know. But stay tuned. It's going to be damn interesting to see if we get a response. Some people sit there and take it. I fight back. Grabbing your nuts, PC. How you doing? All right. Good to see you tonight. PC, my betting partner, sucking down a 49ers loss tonight. Another scintillating high-scoring game. 11-10. The 49ers succumb. JM for the win. There you go, Ward. Well, I'm going to tell you what, Ward S. Somebody owes me some fucking money. All right. Now, if nothing else, this type of letter is, hey, Vicky, this type of letter is unprecedented in the world of sports betting. Nobody, to my knowledge, has ever taken the time to write a professional pro sports team or college team, tell them, you cost me money. You know, if I go get a brake job at the auto shop, right, and my brakes fall off 50 miles down the road, and I go plowing through the windshield because I got no brakes, guess what, man? You're going to be taking care of me for the rest of my life. But if I put money down on a team that can't seem to come out in the second half and grab their nuts and keep winning the game, and I got to sit there and go through the mental anguish of watching that team go down in a meltdown, somebody's going to pay. What's up, Craig? They're going to look at that letter. This is going to be an attention job. What if they chuck it away in the trash? I don't believe that they will, Ed. Because never in the history of those organizations have they ever had anybody write a letter and asking them and sending an invoice to their accounts payable department. My guess is this will cause a ruckus. This will have the whole accounts payable department and the treasurer, the comptroller's office talking. It'll make the lunchroom news. It'll make Twitter. It'll make Instagram. It'll make us famous here on Vegas Rosie. Okay, not that we're seeking the glory, but we took one up the chute with Appalachian State there against James Madison. James Madison, good for you. You went into that locker room at last halftime. You took two hands, you grabbed your nuts, and you came out and you played defense like crazy. You took control of that ball and you picked that defense, that secondary, to pieces and did it. I'm going viral there, PC. That's exactly damn right. How much did they cost me? They cost me a shitload of money. Go watch the video from this morning. Yeah, make sure you send sexy panties with that. Who would bet on App State? Who wouldn't bet on App State? You act like App State's not worth betting on. The Hail Mary pass against the Troy State. Now, I had Troy and I cashed on that bet. All right. But when you're sitting there, Tim Jones, and it's 28-3, I'm sorry, brother. Nobody's sensing a meltdown in the second half. You think that you got this game covered. So let's get down to it here. Let's get down. Let's cover the pro games first tonight. You guys, a lot of you guys saw the 49ers and the Denver Broncos game. I knew it was going to be a defensive struggle playing there. And that's exactly what it turned out to be. Boring as shit. I don't know how much money people paid to sit in those seats and watch that. But I'm going to tell you what, 11-10. Commissioner of the NFL is like, I want parity in this league. How is 11-10? What a week of games we got this week. We got to separate the pretenders from the contenders. Ward says, I made a few bucks on Miami, Denver, Atlanta, Green Bay, and Jacksonville. Totally small bets. Well, who did you lose on, Ward? Everybody always tells me what they made it on. And nobody tells me what they lost it on. And I'll tell you at the end what went well and what didn't. You think you won a game and all hell breaks right. That's right, Tim Jones. And that's on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It's doubtful again unless I got a hell of a line either way that I'll be on App State again. Because I'll tell you what. Yeah, that game tonight in the 49ers Denver game was awful. All between the 20-yard lines. Terrible, terrible game. Let's get down to it today in the NFL because I got a lot of thoughts on teams that are on the rise, pretenders and contenders and stuff that I told you last week to keep an eye on that absolutely positively came true. Let me tell you, number one, let's talk about a general idea of shit I'm noticing around the NFL that used to be taken for granted 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. And that's when you scored a touchdown and you went to kick the extra point. Son of a bitch, it was a slam dunk. They ought to just make it 7 points and do away with the point after. Okay? Not anymore. Shit, man, I had balls bouncing off the uprights. Guys wide right, guys wide left, all over the fucking NFL. When did this shit start happening? We put all these money into Lamar Jackson wants a freaking $100 million plus contract. What about the guy that's supposed to kick the ball through the uprights, right? I could have gone up there in some of these games, Kansas City Chiefs, and put the son of a bitch through the uprights. Okay? Good job, 49ers. All right, so poor kicking, poor field goals seems to be more. And I know, how in the hell is that possible? I scratch my head and I say to myself, kick the damn ball. Okay? You don't got anybody rushing you. It's not like, you know, when the Miami Dolphins were kicking out, whoever the hell was kicking out of the end zone, and they kicked the back of their own guy and the ball kick, you know, just stupid shit. All right, they're all backed up into the end zone, punting. I get it. Okay, I can understand that. Right, but just miscues. Special teams have just deteriorated to crap. I'm watching the punt, the first punt that the Colts kicked the punt for the Buffalo, not for the Bills, but for the Chiefs, and the guy there, the ball bounces off his helmet. The Colts recover on the 2-yard line. The friggin' Chiefs missed 2 field goals. It's just like Mahomes is just like scratching his head, like he come out of, I came out ahead cash wise. The extra point is always a issue, but it should not be, Tim Jones. It should be automatic. There's enough guys in this country that can grab their nuts, get out there on the field, and kick a ball through the uprights. All right? It's not the hardest thing in the world to do. All right, now granted, the Chiefs tried a fake field goal today. It didn't quite work out, but if it works out, right, the Chiefs are geniuses and we're on to victory and all that. That's a measure of how desperate the coach is for KC that he wants to try a fake field goal because he knows this kid, this backup kicker, ain't going to get it. He ain't going to split shit on that thing. All right, he thinks the only way we're going to make some points is to have a fake field goal, and we saw that blew up today. The Kansas City Chiefs should have won that game by about 24 to 10, something like that. Okay. But they just gave it away. So that's what I want to say. Ravens and Patriots today. Jones, pretty good quarterback for Patriots. I was kind of impressed with his performance today. But I got to tell you, Lamar Jackson, 3 games, 11 touchdown passes. Come on, man. Is the guy worth the contract? I don't know. There's some still sketchy parts of the secondary of the Ravens that got picked apart last week and kind of feasted on them a bit today. But that's not Lamar Jackson's problem. And the Baltimore Ravens, right, PC? His job is to put the ball in the air and score points, which he did a hell of a lot of today. He ran. I think he was the lead, might have been the leading rusher today. The guy is gold. The guy's gotten better. He bulked up 20 pounds. He's more of a physical presence on the field, and he's a lot more accurate, and he's got a lot more balls when it comes to putting the ball up. And he's been on target. You got guys like Mark Andrews, money in the bank back there in the end zone. So it's a tough break for the Patriots. Take it into account. Quarterback Jones limping off the field at the end. I don't know what kind of injury this kid sustained, but he's just hobbling and jumping out on one foot. Beware. Okay, because if he is not your quarterback starting out for the Patriots, you can knock about half. You could maybe count on half of the offensive points that you would have gotten there. And as usual, missed extra points were part of the dealio on there. Steelers and Browns. I'll tell you, Chubb, running back for Cleveland. This guy is a beast. This guy is a phenom, man, and he's racking up yardage like crazy. They're making him look good, and I think the Browns are going to continue to improve. They beat the Steelers, as we know, 29-17. Steelers are in a slight bit of disarray because of the defense, because of Watt and some of the other shit. And I'm not sold on Trubisky as a quarterback. Cleveland played great. How long is it going to be before those fans up in Pittsburgh start calling for heads because they've got Pickett, the golden boy of Pitt, sitting there on the sideline, ready to go and wheel into action? Well, shit, give the guy a shot. But, you know, Tomlinson's afraid. I don't know what's going to happen if I put the kid in. The kid's battle proven. I know the NFL's another leg up. But what are you holding the kid for? When you go 3-5 for the season, then you're going to put the kid in? I don't know. But I don't know what you think, PC, about Kenny Pickett and putting him into the lineup. They got this kid for a reason, and it's going to be the time. And I know I say it a lot. You're going to have to grab your nuts and decide if this kid's going to be the future of Pittsburgh or not. I don't think Trubisky's dynamic enough to carry this team forward. Okay, Bengals and Jets. The Bengals are starting to look pretty good now. I got nothing to say. Flacco's doing a good job. I thought the guy would be a daisy in the field. He's still throwing the ball pretty good. Yeah, he had 1 or 2 picks today, but I'll tell you, the Jets, lucky they got somebody in there. And Cleveland sucks, field of steel. No, it didn't happen, Julie. Did not happen at all. So the Bengals are rolling pretty good now. Raiders and Titans. Henry, the running back for the Titans. Solid gold dancer, man. Solid gold dancer. I don't know what it is about the Raiders. I don't know, Pocket Change. You and I have followed the Raiders since they've been here in Oakland. All the bullshit through Al Davis and all the crap. I don't know what to make. Hopes this year started so high. for this Raiders team. And I think Las Vegas is starting to get their first taste of, we just don't do enough to really be competitive in the NFL. And I don't really know how to explain it. You got the beautiful stadium there. Now they're on the road. I mean, I get it. They're in Tennessee. Tennessee's motivated. But dude, when are you going to put a win up on the board? Derek Carr. This guy can't do it alone. I think this team is just destined for another pissy year. Saints and the Panthers. Panthers winning 22-14. I have to say this. I've said it before. The Panthers are one of those teams that's sneaking up from low level to moderate to climbing level in the NFL. They seem to have a really good flow of plays. They seem to have a good selection of plays, and their defense is doing well. Karma's hitting the Raiders. Brad should have worked it out with Gruden. That whole thing is a mess. We all make mistakes in life. I mean, it's, we live in such an unforgiving world today where we have political correctness and stuff. We seem to have no forgiveness for others, what we preach and teach in schools and in churches, synagogues and stuff like that. Hit the reset button, jails and things, but when it comes to a really big presence like John Gruden, who could probably do a lot to motivate a Raiders team, we leave them on the outside looking in. How much penance do these people have to pay? Well, it might be a lifetime. But it's a very bitter pill to swallow on there, okay? But the hard road is ahead, I believe, for the Raiders. I don't see them improving with the schedule that they have this year. For the Saints, Mayfield's a plus, field goals blocked, more special teams mistakes. I don't know what happened this year, these few games in, and my biggest takeaway from all of these games is the failure to perform of special teams. Whether it's a guy that's going to be fielding a punt and he lets the ball hit his helmet and then doesn't know where the hell it is, and he's looking like a guy that just lost his sack and doesn't know where to find it around. Meanwhile, the Colts are jumping on it. They got the ball at the 3-yard line and they take it in and score. What a way to open a game, right? What a way. Missed field goals, balls hitting the side of the uprights, guys wide, right, left. How many field goals did Kansas City miss today? I know the guy's a backup guy, but man, you're a pro player. Should not the backup guy be able to hit a 25, 35-yard field goal? 40 yards? I think so. I mean, what the hell are you there for? I don't know. Panthers just have a really, really solid defense, I think, this year. The Vikings and the Lions, I don't know where my friend Morning Dove is from Minnesota. I told you this team is a good team. Don't judge by last week. Vikings are going to be there. They're going to count this year. And then against a very tough Lions team, they took care of business today. Vikings missed field goal. Both teams are impressive, the Lions and the Vikings, and I think that they're both going to compile very positive records this year. Eagles, 24, Washington Commanders. Eagles are the cock of the walk, man. 100,000 per kick. Imagine making that type of money. And then you hit the damn upright. I mean, suppose they start pulling every 100,000 out every one you miss. Huh? You get a little incentive to go out there and kick the ball till midnight every night. Jeez. All right. What's really impressive about the Eagles is the depth of their lines. Now, we talk about offensive and defensive lines, but you know, if you have a great line, offense or defense, and you don't have depth, your top guy, guard, whatever, tackle, nose guard, center goes out, man, and you don't have depth behind it, you got big problems from then on in the year. And very few people talk about the importance of the line, the offensive line, the defensive line, in terms of having great seasons, the unsung heroes in the trenches and stuff. Do you know the depth that Philadelphia has on the offensive and defensive line? They can go 2-3 deep in there and put people within there that are 90%, 95% as good as the first string. Depth in position is what gets people into Super Bowls. Lack of depth, as we saw last year with the Ravens, the wheels come off the cart. Okay, injuries, nobody to step up and take their place. The Eagles are blessed with the lines. The defensive line is great too for them. And I just think the depth of the offensive and defensive line are going to yield huge benefits going forward. Colts and Chiefs, terrible special teams played by the Chiefs. If I'm Mahomes, I'm scratching my ass just thinking to myself, man, what does it take to win a game around here? First punt to us, right? We hold the Colts, first punt to us, and the guy's bouncing off of his helmet. I mean, you're not, special teams is another thing that I don't think they're appreciating enough in pro ball, because I've noticed the trend over the years, the last 3 years in particular, that special teams have degraded in overall performance. Whether it's punting, whether it's kickoff returns, onside kicks, fake field goals in general. It has definitely, I think, been degradation over the last couple of years, because I can't give you an exact figure, but I know that it is actually the case because I observe and I watch. 2 missed field goals, 1 muff punt, stupid penalties. Stupid penalties. You get a beautiful knockdown of a pass, and you're down on that guy, calling him a dickhead or something on the ground, and here comes the yellow flag. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 72. Defense. Automatic first down. Man, it's over. When will these people learn they don't pay you to run your mouth? Show up, put up, and shut up. All this strutting around on defenders like they did something great, like they nipped the crown jewels or something like that, is nonsense. Yeah, that's right. I'm just saying. You better sit those guys down and tell them, we're a professional football team. We're not thugs incorporated in the neighborhood. If you do something great, be a gentleman, get off the ground, stop the stupid smack talking, because you, hey DLS, because you cost the Chiefs the game today. You cost me my bet. All right? I ought to send a bill to you because they didn't cover my spread on the Chiefs. Yeah, I was a square better today, and stupid because I took the Chiefs. All right? I drank the Kool-Aid. All right? But I should have come out in great shape and won by 12 to 14 points. Instead, I'm sucking ass at the end. Because I got thugs on the football field, people that can't kick straight. And you know what you saw today? You saw Mahomes frustrated. He doesn't say anything, but he's over there chewing a piece of grass, and you can tell he's talking to the bench, and he's pissed off. What's up, DLS? I'm punching them tonight, man. Bears and Texans, I told you the Bears would bounce back, and they did. Fields is not as bad as people say that he is. Houston's not a bad team. The Bears are rolling along. Okay, Jaguars and Chiefs. The pounding the drum again for you guys that don't get it in your heads. This is not the Jaguars of the last 4 and 5 years that got their asses kicked from one side of the country to the other. This today, beating the Chargers 38-10, establishes them, in my mind, as almost, not quite, an elite level NFL team for this year. The easy, low-hanging fruit of betting, the easy spreads on this team, they're probably a thing of the past. All right, some people will cut over to money line bets. This team has an elite, great defense, and they grind out enough on offense to get the job done. And I think that they're going to go deep in the season, barring injury. This is one of my must-watch teams for 2022. 2023. Did you guys see them dismembering the Chargers in SoFi Stadium in LA? I did. Okay. Chargers, are they an elite level team? Well, we thought they were at the beginning of the year. What's up, Flan? Now I'm not sure. But I'll tell you what, every week that goes by, my judgment of the Jaguars is more and more confirmed. Falcons and Seahawks, another team I told you. A lot of people like to hate the Seahawks, but the Falcons go in there in Seattle, win today 27-23. This is a rising team. It's upper mid-level now in terms of performance, and I have great expectations for them for the future. Ron Mack says, take your sweater off. Dude, it's a sweatshirt, okay? Packers and Tampa, what can I tell you? Okay, 14-12. It was a good, tight battle. Tom Brady didn't look great. Aaron Rodgers didn't look great the whole second half. It was boring. Okay, but at the end of the day, the Packers did it up and they won the game. Rams and Cardinals, I really expected, this is my disappointment of the week. I expected more from the Cardinals. Yeah, the Packers almost blew it, but Tom Brady doesn't seem to be able to have any confidence in a running game. All right, when he's trying to get the 2-point conversion at the end of the game to tie it and send it into overtime, he lets too much time tick off, 5-yard penalty. I mean, dude, what's the point? You had the running back, you had the play set, the guy waltzed in the end zone and they blow the whistle. It's too much time. This is high school level mistakes here. Man, you just run the play. Okay? I think he's frustrated with the team, and I'm frustrated too. With them. All right, so that takes care of the Pro Bowl today. Disappointed with the Niners, although it was a defensive struggle. I don't think there's too much negative you can take away from that. Denver's a good team. All right, but Niners are going to be there too. They're an elite level team. I don't know if the Denver is, but they did it tonight at home. Let's talk into, we only bet one game in the NFL this week. Yeah, I drank the Kool-Aid, the public line, the square bet. The Kansas City Chiefs today, we had -6, and I was feeling great about that bet, and we see how that turned out today. Let's get on with it. Let's talk college football, guys. Grab your sacks. This was really something. Now, we went 3-4 this week, but we still made money because all of our bets are spread bets. And when we win a spread bet, we double our money, less the juice. And when we lose, we just lose our original bet, which means if we win 3 bets and we get $150 back, and we lose 4 bets that we lose $100 on, we take out the juice, we're still a little ahead. So we're okay, but I'm conditioned to win. Not to be a loser, but we keep moving ahead. Yes, Chiefs laid an egg today. So this was, as everybody knows, week 4 in the NFL is NCAA is a trap week. And not surprising today, there were a lot of trap games over the weekend, on Friday night and on Saturday. And it was very tough navigating for me. Let me tell you what did not work. Syracuse and Virginia. Very disappointing to me that the Syracuse that I thought was really rolling this year based on their first few games really did a poor performance against Virginia. Or is Virginia's defense just better than I perceived it to be? And I have to think it's the latter here. So my estimation of Virginia, the Cavaliers moving out of the rest of the year, goes up a little bit. Yeah, that Kansas City game hurt. And Syracuse comes down a little bit. I'm not sold on the quarterback. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right there. I thought it was a very subpar effort on the part of Syracuse. I thought the crowd was lousy. It was almost like being in a funeral parlor. There was no crowd support. There was no hooping and hollering. I just thought it was a dead, what I call the Carrier Dome. It was the most disappointing college venue of the weekend to me. And the whole team was flat as a flounder. Okay? There was just nothing they could do. And Virginia just started tightening the grip. Yes, Syracuse won the game, but they did not cover the spread. Montana covers again, Central Michigan too. What's up, Luce? I'm going to talk about Central Michigan in a bit coming up here too, because this team still flies under the radar, and they've not had an easy go of it. All right, three shameful teams this week in college football. Number one, Appalachian State was so bad, their collapse against James Madison in the second half, that I'm sending my sports betting ticket to the Comptroller Accounts Payable Department of Appalachian State University, and I'm demanding my money back for that bet. Now, it's never been done before in the history of professional sports or college football to ever send an invoice demanding reimbursement for malfeasance and malperformance of a team. How is it different than a team? Then I get brakes on my car, they fail in 100 miles. Somebody's going to be responsible. It's going to get a lot of attention at App State down there, because it's the first time in history somebody's taken the time to send a snail mail to call a team on the carpet. Shame on you, App State, for your historic meltdown against James Madison, up 28-3, and didn't score a damn point in the second half of that game. What the hell did James Madison do? They have superior coaching. They went into the locker room at halftime and told the guys, this is exactly what you got to do to beat this team. Defense, this is what you need to do. All right, they're scared to throw the ball. Make them throw the ball. It's going to be a mess. On offense, throw the ball, go deep. App State has no answer for the deep ball. 23, 28, 30 points, it's over. There goes my bet. Right out the window. All right, Oklahoma lost to Kansas State. I'm going to zip my mouth shut. Okay, how much money went down that rat hole? Miami loses to Middle Tennessee. Yeah, Michigan didn't cover because Maryland came in and played a game. I'm telling you what, though, Miami. Shame on you. Let's talk about teams that are moving down in performance that really have to be looked at in a negative way. Number one, I would say Syracuse definitely has to be considered less than we thought it was with their big start this year, even though they won. I was not impressed with their performance in that game. Or else Virginia is better than advertised. K-State has ex-Nebraska quarterback, yes. So Oklahoma losing, rolls down. App State, whatever you might thought about them before, and let's be real. I cashed a bet on Troy because App State didn't, the App State didn't cover the spread. All right. All right, a Hail Mary at the end of the game is not indicative of how good a football team is. Sorry, this is why you don't want to just look at box scores. But I really thought that App State was capable of taking care of James Madison, but I didn't do enough research to see how good typically over the years James Madison has been as a football program, particularly when it comes to defense, and how many national titles they won in their division, and how well coached they are, and how successful the head coach is for that team. Failure to underappreciate a non-marquee name school going up against its legendary drama king school like Appalachian State. Okay, so App State. Let's talk about one more here. Wisconsin laid an egg in Ohio. I really believe, and many people told me otherwise, Rosie, forget about it. There's no way that Wisconsin should even be in the top, possibly even the top 20. The Golden Gophers are better, right? There's a lot of teams that, hell, shit, even Tulsa could potentially be better. All right, so I took a hit on App State, and I always still went. We went 3-4 this week, okay, and we still made money. But I'm saying, very disappointing Wisconsin. I really thought that they would give Ohio State a game, and I'm convinced a team like Ole Miss. No, don't, PC. Tell me why they would be in top 10. All right, pretenders. Obviously, they should be knocked out of that. Okay, could Ole Miss beat them? Yes, I can think of 10 teams that could probably beat them right off the top of my head. And Michigan State. God, what a disaster. What did Michigan State score 7 points against Minnesota? Minnesota, I've talked for weeks about the Golden Gophers. They have a horseshoe up their ass or something. They always seem to be great performing. Are they ever going to get blown out? What's the magic of Minnesota? Such a high-powered offense, and yet a defense that can hold a good Michigan State to 7 points. I don't know. But they ought to bottle that shit and pass it around a lot of other teams in the NCAA, because to me, the Golden Gophers are the epitome of a team that out-achieves what people expect them to do. Therefore, they gather a fan base that's great. Okay, and loves them. Teams on the rise. Here's another one flying under the radar. Yeah, I knew the Bears were going to win tonight. I talked about that. Washington Huskies. Nobody's really talking about them. They dispatched Stanford with ease. We caused that. Yeah, I've called the Gophers at the beginning of the season. I also called the Huskies as an under-the-radar team. They easily dispatched Stanford. They've got Cal coming up. I believe it's Cal. What do they got coming up? Cal, I believe. And it's Huskies -3 is the FanDuel line right now. Do I have to connect the dots for you, for you guys? Huh? Am I crazy? This team is solid, man. The Huskies are they are under the radar and flying right now. Washington State. Say what you will about that Oregon game. A little bit of a miscue, little too emotions at the end of the game, the last 5 minutes. But Washington State had Oregon on the ropes. Okay, if they stay away from that, oh come on, PC. I'm fading Stanford is money in the bank, and backing the Huskies is money in the bank. Let me tell you, I watched that Washington State Oregon game, and I was so impressed with that offense on that. But the defense kind of blew apart at the end because of the pressure. And it just kind of fell apart there. But I tell you, when I saw Washington State, the times that they played this year, they're such a damn good football team. And it's only by a couple little being overexcited on at the last 5 minutes of the game that they kind of gave it away. Because I'll tell you, they had those people pumped up that they were going to. Yeah, we're gonna get to the Hilltoppers here. Fired them up. So up on the rise, Washington State. Even though they lost, they gained. All right, Tennessee, Florida. There's not a lot of give to the Tennessee team in terms of losing. They battled tough. They were at home. They handled Florida. They handled them well. This is why Tennessee is an elite level team, and I think a team that would have a fighting chance of being in a game with Georgia this year. And I would not be surprised to see it come down to, and I'm looking forward to that game, because I think that's the game that may establish Tennessee as a power going forward for quite a few years here. They've got the quarterback, they got the coach that looks sloppy as hell, but he's a smart guy, and they always put good plays on the field and do well. And say what you will, the wake-up call for me on Tennessee came in that Pitt game. And when they started carrying Pitt players off the field in the fourth quarter, I said there's something pretty good about this defense here, because Pitt was all supposed to be, oh, this defense is fantastic and it's great. They're starting to carry, or the offensive line is supposed to be great. They're carrying people off the damn field. What do you hear about Pittsburgh now? Nothing. What do you hear about Tennessee now? Everything. Okay. Tennessee. Yeah, your cousin's got season tickets. Damn, I'd love to be down there in old Rocky Top for that. Minnesota. I don't know loose and pocket change. How do we start evaluating the Minnesota Golden Gophers? At what point do we say, like, this is the Cinderella team of the NCAA football world? Flying below the radar. I wanted to back Minnesota so much in this game, but I could not grab my nuts and put the bet down, because I thought Michigan State, now we're starting to get up to some real teams here. What was it, 37-7 or something was the final? At what level do we start to say, well, they're in the top 20, but could Minnesota beat Wisconsin? We'll see. I have a feeling they could. There's something golden about the way that the Golden Gophers operate that I think is magical. What's up, Giro? How you doing? That was a great game today. I think I talked about, did I talk about the Miami and Buffalo game? Two great teams battling it out. They'll be meeting again. But I'll tell you, the Dolphins are certainly, and the Bills are both elite level teams. Nothing was lost on either one of those teams today. Maryland went up and they were supposed to get curb stomped. The first kickoff of the game, the freaking ball hits the guy. Another special teams disaster. Guy can't even find the ball, and Michigan's up 7-0. All right. Maryland could have won that game in Michigan. Is Maryland an elite level team? No. But is Michigan an elite level team? I don't know. They played 3 cupcakes in the first 3 weeks, and they finally got to meet a real team. And they had a hell of a time winning that game. And I think covering that line, it was 17 or something. Luce, you were laying 17 on Michigan. I thought that was a cherry bet to take the points, and Maryland on that. And just great quarterbacking, great composure, good receivers. Defense could use a little work, but it's going to help Maryland's recruiting a lot going forward to have gone up there and played a 7-point game, knowing that fixing up a few special teams things. I just think that Michigan I just feel overrated. So many ways with Michigan. Duke. I know y'all love that when I talk Duke. I'm old ACC. Duke, Maryland, Virginia, Wake, North Carolina State, North Carolina. I can't help it. It's in my blood. Yeah, Central Michigan. I'm gonna talk a little bit about them too. Duke, Mike Elko. Man, you've done a job. They went to Kansas and they gave a great performance there. I marked my card for Duke. I don't know who's coming up for Duke this week, but I'm going to put some money on Duke. Played Kansas University to 7-0. Nice. How you doing, Lakota? Good night, Flan. Very impressed with the way the Duke program has been turned around here. Let's see who else I've got here. USC continues to be an under-the-radar team and did well. I already talked about Minnesota. So my elite teams, Clemson stays in there. I don't know. Ohio State. I'm still not super high on Ohio State. Alabama. I'm still not super high on Alabama. Georgia. Solid as a rock. Tennessee. Oregon. Utah. And I've now slipped Ole Miss into there too, because they're another one that's flying under the radar, and Kentucky. Okay. Teams that are on the bubble. Yeah, I'm gonna find out about USC, and I'm fading UCLA. I'll tell you right now, against the Huskies, I'm fading UCLA. I was not impressed with the Colorado game. Colorado is a poor benchmark to measure success, whereas the Huskies coming out playing real teams and doing it up. Okay, bubble teams. Washington, Penn State, Florida. Yeah, Florida got degraded a bit in my mind. Michigan, I'm not even sure Michigan's really that great. Florida State and North Carolina State. So that's the way I see it. So what did I do this week? We had 3 wins, 4 losses. We still made money. Not much when you take away the juice. But won West Virginia. Covered against Virginia Tech. A very exciting game on Thursday night. Incredible place to play in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech. A spooky place to play that night. I could not believe the orange waving back and forth, and for West Virginia went in there and they looked like deer in the headlights when they saw that stadium. That night, But JT Daniels is still a pretty solid quarterback, and he got the job done. West Virginia is under the radar, but they've not had an easy schedule by any stretch of the imagination. But I don't think that they're a bubble team, but they're certainly a better than average team. We cashed on that. Then we came into App State. We lost that bet. What's up, Jen? Yeah, you can't believe I wrote that letter. There it is, honey. I'm sending it to App State to get my money back for my bet. It's going into the mailbox tomorrow, honey. Appalachian State cost me the bet. We lost that one. Okay. What else did we lose? We lost the Syracuse and Virginia. Syracuse didn't cover because, well, Virginia has a better defense than I thought that they were going to have. And here's the one that really was the ball buster this weekend. Boise State and University of Texas El Paso. What a dog shit team Boise State is this year. Lost that one. Okay. We did cash UCLA on Colorado. That was kind of a gimme. Okay. We cashed Stanford Huskies. That was a nice one. I think we lost one more. It's kind of escaping my memory right now. And then we lost the Chiefs today because I was a square and bet with the public. Only to see 2 field goals missed, a punt dropped, a fake field goal blew up. Well, that's what I'm saying, Luce. You should send a bill for that. UCLA versus Washington. Oh, UCLA pulls this one under 68. Wow. I don't know, PC. I didn't see that much greatness from UCLA. It depends if the line's tight. I'm sorry, I can't fade the Huskies. They're just better coached. They have better luck. They just have better, when the chips get down, the Huskies always come up big. All right. I can't say the same for UCLA. Now, am I going to bet that? I don't know. It's still early. I got to wait and see what the line. I don't go by FanDuel's early lines. I got to see. Thank you, Jen. I got to see what's coming up. And then Wednesday, we're not doing Thursday. We're coming in Wednesday. And then we talk about it Wednesday night. What we're thinking about on the weekend, because as we stand now, we're 14-9, which is still pretty damn respectable on the year. And we roll forward, and I've got some pretty good ideas. Kansas City should not to run them play. It was just ridiculous, Luce. This year, I'm witnessing the collapse of special teams in the NFL. Growing up for all the years in my life, when I saw a kickoff or a punt, the last thing I worried about was the ball bouncing off the helmet of the receiver, punt returner, or kickoff returner, or dropping it, losing it in the light. Somebody said today at Kansas City, oh, it's probably because there's light in the stadium, the sun. Well, fuck, man, we've been dealing with sun in the NFL for 100 years. Grab your nuts, put your hand around the ball, and grab it. All right. If you'll notice in life, and I consider myself a pretty good sports bettor, it's the unpredictable shit that really drives you nuts. The stuff you count on, people catching a ball, a field goal hitter from 38 yards. I mean, I'm not asking you to be Justin Tucker or even the extra points bouncing on the upright. Really? Does anybody else got the idea that special teams are not what they used to be, that maybe we're not putting enough emphasis at the college level, and we're just, everything is all geared to a quarterback, a running back, wide receivers, a couple of cornerback and a safety, and everything else is becoming a second thought, and the game is falling apart. The teams that don't make mistakes, the Huskies, the ones that you don't sit there, oh shit, he threw the ball away, or oh God, another pick six. They just tend to stay away from the stupid plays. And that's kind of the way that I see things this year. I've been very disappointed. So let's see if there's anything else to talk about on the other games here. Let me get this log back in. It was a fun week, but it was frustrating for me. You know, I felt sure. I felt good with the Syracuse game. I felt good with the App State game. What was the other one here? Let me see. Boise was dog shit. Felt good with UCLA. Felt good with Washington. Yeah, West Virginia, felt good about that. Now let's see what else we got here now. Let's see if there are any other takeaways of note. We had Wisconsin, Ohio State. Ohio State just beat the living shit out of Wisconsin. Vanderbilt, nothing there. How about Arkansas losing? I couldn't bet on Arkansas. Couldn't do it, man. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. I'm not a believer. Yeah, Central Michigan. Rhode Island, Pittsburgh, nothing there for me. Luce, I texted my friend, the boss, when Kent State Golden Flash they were only down like 7 points against Georgia, and I texted him, I said, because he's a Kent State guy. And I said, your boys are doing it up against Georgia on there. Kent State, they probably gave Georgia the closest game of the year, 39-22. Central Michigan and Penn State. I made money on Central Michigan because they cashed against Oklahoma State the first week or second week. They lost 33-14. They gave a pick and a few things, but I don't know why Central Michigan just seems to have some kind of a little bit of bad luck to them. I always keep my eye on Central Michigan, and I can't remember who they're playing coming up this week. Tell me, Luce. Let's see, who's Central Michigan playing this Central Michigan. Who are they playing? I don't know who the hell they're playing this week. Who are they playing? I never get a complete rundown here. Yeah, they're bringing in the cash. Who are they? Are they playing this week, or they get a bye week this week? I thought they're playing this week. Ooh, Central Michigan versus Toledo. That's right, against Toledo. Toledo's a pretty. I've watched some of the highlight things. They keep a lot of composure. They don't know that they're shitty. You know, I'm just saying. So, some teams go out there like Ohio State, like bouncing out there. Da, 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 da. We're sitting in the front of the bus. We ain't sitting in the back. Yeah, I think that they're going to do good. BYU, God, what a disappointment BYU is when they went up to Oregon. Should they be 19th ranked? I don't think so anymore. I mean, that game, Yeah, I think I'm not much on the Cowboys, Benny. It's going to be a good game, but I think that the Cowboys are going to be hard pressed on that. Purdue and Minnesota, and I know FanDuel's already has Minnesota as a favorite here. So, are they going to obliterate Purdue? Are they going to make mince? They could wallop Purdue by a huge score here. I just don't think Purdue's that great, right? Texas Tech and Kansas, Iowa, Michigan. Let's see, Oregon State and Utah. Oregon and Washington State, both of them are damn good teams. And Utah is already, I'm not. I want to do a little more work on Utah. They lost to Florida. But I wonder how they're going to. I wonder, this is just a scrappy ass team. Oregon State and Washington State are both really scrappy. Oklahoma State and Baylor. Wake and Florida State. Alabama, Arkansas. Rutgers, Ohio State. Northwestern, Penn State. North Carolina, Clemson. Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. Arizona State, USC. USC should take care of that. And you got number 13, Oregon at Stanford. Stanford at Oregon. Let me just visualize this game. We got another game in this fucking madhouse up in Oregon. Right? You got Stanford coming in that is reeling this year. You think that this is going to be some type of statement game for Stanford? I don't know what the early FanDuel lines is, but I think that got the potential to be a really ugly-ass game because now you've empowered Bo Nix coming off that huge Washington State victory where he kept his composure. Usually this guy blows apart. But I think he's come over the hump and his confidence is on the rise. And he's starting to feel like Superman now, like he can get the job done. And yeah, I need a chalkboard. Luce, what do you think of the Oregon-Stanford game? And PC, what do you think of that? Stanford playing at Oregon at 8 p.m. The marquee evening game there. Interesting game. Ooh. Yeah, we need a chalkboard we can design to play. Ooh, I'm kind of curious about Virginia Tech going to Pittsburgh too. I'll be interested in seeing what the line is on that. I might fade Pittsburgh in that one. Oregon, yeah, they could be a little flat. God, look at this PC. I'm staying away from all Duck games. Reason being, I was kind of impressed with the way that Virginia, yeah, I could borrow Carl Rove's chalkboard. I was kind of impressed with the way that Virginia Tech played. Against West Virginia. I don't think West Virginia is a slouch team. I'm waiting for Pocket Change to tell me why he stays away from the Oregon Ducks games. Texas will lose the rest of their games. I've never been really high on Texas, to tell you the truth. People got all excited. I mean, Oklahoma should do the job on. People got all excited about the Alabama Texas game. South Carolina going into Kentucky. Ducks are nothing but Nike Shoe University. Well, I don't know. I'm the original Bo Nix hater. I hated this kid's guts, and this kid, I'm not saying I was gleeful when he got his ass handed to him by Georgia, but he bounced back, He called West Virginia. Yeah, I called West Virginia at the beginning of the season, and they've been, they're now flying under the radar level. I don't, Luce, I don't know what to think about West Virginia. I know going into, what's up, Chef? I know that going into Virginia Tech in that stadium is a daunting task for any team on a Friday, what was that, Thursday night? In front of a national audience and all those orange waving from side to side, the students and the fireworks and the smoke. It was one of the most, and I can't contrast that with the funeral parlor that was Syracuse. And they were a little shaky. The noise level was high. But at the end of the game, West Virginia took care of business in that game. But I was impressed with Virginia Tech. And I think they're going to improve. And I was also impressed with Virginia. Remember, I went into the weekend and I'm like, oh, I'm going to fade all three Virginia teams. And it was working pretty good for a while. Right. I'm fading all three teams. And I'm like a genius, right? There goes Virginia Tech down. Syracuse is manhandling Virginia. Then they get back into the game. Oh, unreal. What do you guys think about South Carolina going into Kentucky? Have they shot their wad this year, South Carolina? Is this just going to be like a shooting gallery when they go into Texas? That's another game. I'm kind of curious to see what they set the line on that. I guess I'm at the point I'm looking for some wide lines to take advantage of here. That'll be in week 6. I'm already looking ahead for that game. That's one I've already got circled on my card. Kentucky and Mississippi. Kentucky going into Mississippi this weekend. I don't know, man. Yeah, Montana is good. Hey, listen, I still say the Huskies. Don't you guys get the feeling over the years, PC? I'm not sure if Michigan, man. I don't know. Maryland kind of. I got to do a little more R&D on that one. But I'm thinking I just want to, PC, you and I have been in the Pac-12 since it was Pac-10 and whatever. You've got to give a lot of respect to the Huskies. Because, yeah, and thumbs up, appreciate it, guys. If you've not hit the thumbs up, please take a second to do so. Washington's now rated number 15, which I think is rightly deserved. UCLA is unranked. Okay, now I know Washington's going down. It's on a Friday night in UCLA, but the place is like a tomb. Nobody's going to be down there. Hey, Donnie. People in UCLA don't give a shit about their football team. Crowd's not going to be a factor in that game. Okay? And I just think if it's going to be a 3.5 point line, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. I was close on the UCLA Colorado game. And Colorado is just a spent force this year. but Washington is always the real deal, and they're super well coached, and they never ever get blown out. Ever. How you doing, Donnie? So that's one that I'm probably going to be on. The Golden Gophers, Purdue at the Golden Gophers. Well, pocket change. Why don't you text me your picks on Thursday night then? Okay, and we'll see. Purdue, Minnesota. That's a really early game on Saturday. I don't know if FanDuel's has the line on yet. Weather's always a factor in travel time, of course. I think depending on what the line is, I'd probably back Minnesota. I think they have the ability to just chew the shit out of the Purdue Boilermakers. I mean, when's the last time Minnesota was in the top rankings and stuff? I mean, it's a damn good team. Yeah, I am, Benny. Check out my stereos. I'm also the person, Benny, that is so pissed off that Appalachian State blew the game against, the fuck was it, James Madison, that I'm sending my betting ticket in an invoice to the accounts payable department at Appalachian State University. For the first time in the history, I know of no person that's ever sent their losing ticket to the college and demanded to be paid back for poor performance. So, as usual, Rosie's breaking new ground in the sports betting world there. So, this will get a lot of attention down at App State, believe it. I will know Monday night, Tuesday, who I'm betting. I'm going to talk about what it looks like on Wednesday. There's Julie. We'll make it on ESPN. So, Pocket Change, you make sure to text me your picks. What do you guys think about Minnesota and Purdue? Everybody's, oh, Michigan. I got to have Michigan and Michigan and Michigan and Michigan. I mean, of course, Michigan's going to, I mean, come on, man. Who is Iowa played? San Diego State, Iowa. They lost to Iowa State. They beat Nevada. They beat Rutgers. Big deal. I don't know what the line is. I don't really trust FanDuel's. Puts out some stupid provisional line. It's like dog shit on Sunday. So I don't know what the hell that is. Being monetized, change you. In what way, Queen Diamond? I've been monetized since 2013, honey. So obviously social media has kept you being a troll. All right. It's another person that's jealous because somebody gets $1 that they'll never get. Ooh, 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 ooh. So I don't think Iowa. I think that Michigan should easily dispatch them, but strange shit happens. They're going to be playing in Iowa, and I don't know. Michigan showed me a lot of weakness against Maryland. That's all I'm thinking about in that game. Anybody really impress you early in the year? That someplace that you didn't expect them to be at all this season? Minnesota would be one of my teams. Oh, TCU at Oklahoma. TCU and Oklahoma. I don't really care about travel too much, PC, in the continental U.S. You know, you get there days earlier. I'm not factoring that in anymore. TCU. I haven't talked about them. They did a pretty good job against SMU. Right? And then I matched how Maryland played SMU and won late. Do a little triangulation there. I hope Oklahoma gets a huge spread. What do you guys think? TCU. It's another one under the radar screen. A climbing team. I should have put that on my thing tonight. I hope that they set a nice, big, fat, juicy line for a good, nice, big Oklahoma fat line. Give shout out to Brazil. Well, big shout out to Brazil. Don't spam the chat, Big Mike. Okay. Don't spam the chat. Now we're going to have to get you out of here. Hide user on channel. Bye, Big Mike. TCU. Loose. PC. Any thoughts on TCU? Are they another flying below the radar screen? I hope that Oklahoma gets a big ass line on this one. I hope I do, because I will be itchy to take TCU. It's all kinds of things. Like you have AAP Variety Channel. It's a variety channel. Nothing in here says it's a travel channel. Look at the banner on the channel headline. But what do you guys? TCU has a great defense. They're a very balanced team. Yeah, I haven't done any homework either, but I'm looking forward. Arkansas, that was a good game. That's another one that's gotten under the radar screen. I hope that they give a big, juicy. They probably won't get too big of a line, but I'd be apt to take TCU. Wake Forest and Florida State. Interesting matchup. You know, it's another thing. Louisville, I'm pissed off. They should have won that game against Florida State. Threw the ball away at the end. Oof. It's a troll, Julie. Number 22, Wake Forest, at number 23, Florida State. You guys really think Florida State's that good? I don't know. Number 10, North Carolina State against Clemson. Yeah, Kentucky's been a surprise. They've really been a surprise. They've really been a pleasant surprise this year. And I think USC's been doing well. USC has been doing pretty doggone well. Guys, it's been about an hour and 20 minutes. I've covered a lot of ground tonight. Wednesday night, I am going to Las Vegas on Wednesday, so I'm probably going to be recording down there. My outlook for the week coming up, just in my opinion here. I always appreciate people being here, and I'm always very gratified by the hundreds of people that watch this in the after chats and things like that. So I want to thank you for your support tonight. PC, good to see you. Luce, nice to see you too. Julie. Yeah, I'm going to be down on Fremont. Yeah, I covered 400 yards here. So 14-9 on the year. Feeling pretty good about things. The great thing about spread betting, hey, what's up, JR? Is you double your money when you're right, and you only lose your original bet when you are wrong, which is a beautiful thing. Hey, June, how you doing? Yeah, we were talking about you tonight. There's the letter. I don't care if they respond, but I know that when they open this letter at App State's accounts payable department, it'll certainly be circulated. Thanks, everybody.